Hi, I'm Gracia Hada, and we're here on the talk show to interview two strong civil rights movement leaders, and here I am with MLK. For those who don't know you as well, we're going to start out with a few questions to help the audience get to know you. So where and when were you born?
I was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia.
So what was it like growing up in a segregated community?
At a young age, I knew black and white people had different rights in certain parts of America. Growing up, having to sit in a separate section of the restaurant, having to stay at the back of the movie theater, and even having to use separate restrooms than whites. I never understood why we were treated so differently, when the only thing that separated us was color. This didn't just apply to me, it applied to everyone around me in my community.
And how did you gain hope about a change that could be made?
It was my first experience in race relations. Outside of the very segregated South, I was surprised in the difference I saw in how peaceful the people were than in the North. This is when my hate for racial segregation began. I believed something could be done. I saw that whites in the North were peaceful and treat us the same as white people.
So what message did your I Have a Dream speech portray?
I didn't give this speech for myself. I gave it not only for my friends, family, but for my suffering community that wishes for equality. I emphasize that one day I hope to see that my children will live in a nation where judgment will not only come from skin color, but by the content of a citizen's character.
And where does the title of your speech come from?
In my speech name, I Have a Dream, comes from the biggest wish I hope to see in our nation as a whole, which was someday we will all be brothers and sisters, a part of a world ruled by equality, justice, and peace.
Thank you for your time, Mr. King. Now we will meet with A. Philip Randolph, a man who was a part of the March on Washington. So what made you feel like there was a need for change?
Coming from a hard childhood, I felt like that it was important to make a change in America. My belief in peace throughout society was greatly inspired by Gandhi's success using the tactics before. I felt that something should be done about discrimination in the United States, specifically discrimination in the military, war industries, and government agencies, and in labor unions. I couldn't stand to see the discrimination anymore.
So, Mr. Randolph, what was your intentional goal for the March on Washington?
My goal for the March on Washington was to gain economic equality for blacks. This is the first ceremony of its size that was ever initiated and led by an African American. Many white people were apprehensive. We only wanted to call attention to the challenges blacks were facing. President Roosevelt issued an executive order to forbid racial discrimination in the defense industry and in the government. This is only the first step.
So what was the BSCP and what was the purpose of that organization?
The BSCP was a labor union that I started to fight for our labor and civil rights. We fought the Pullman Company, the American Federation of Labor, and the anti-union. We were largely successful on each fight.
I'd like to personally thank these two leaders for coming out and giving me the opportunity to interview them. They've created a great difference in our society, and we don't know where we'd be without them.